well, I feel like we've been here before. One of the worst teams in the league, Western Conference team, coming in off a big road loss for the second game of a back-to-back. Last time this happened, how did that work out for us? Yeah, not too well. Hey all, I'm Chris, this is the SaberCast, and today we have a very straightforward agenda. We're just trying to preview Wednesday night's game coming up against the Calgary Flames. We are going to mention a little bit of injuries here as well, but I tell you, this is a big opportunity for the Sabres. This is a game they cannot really drop. I mean, we've been in this situation a lot this year. Having a team that we should be better than coming in, or a team we need to be better than in order to make the playoffs coming in. A game that we would realistically be favored in, and the team just lays an egg in those situations. We've seen it, I think, 2 other times this year. We saw it against Columbus when they came to town, a game we really needed to win and should have won, and we didn't win. We went to overtime and lost. And then the big one that sticks out, the one I was referencing in the intro, is the St. Louis game, where the Blues came to town after getting crushed by the Capitals, playing their worst goalie, one of the worst goalies in the league by statistics coming into that game. And, we couldn't really solve them en route to a really disappointing loss, which kind of kicked off the tailspin that we went on up until the Detroit game. Now we finally turned it around, and we have another fairly weak team. We have probably the weakest team in the league coming in. Sabres have got to find a way to take care of business in this one and get this to a 3-game winning streak. I think if you lose this game, it's going to be very tough to chart a course back for the Sabres. So as of now, this game, the 20th game of the year, we're going to be at the quarter pole basically. At the conclusion of this one, it is the Sabres' chance to make a statement, get back to 500, which would be a big thing mentally, and get that 3-game winning streak. And from there, we can continue to build. But if we drop this game, all that momentum we have worked up these last 2 games, that great performance against Edmonton, it's gone if we don't win this game against Calgary. So there's a lot at stake Wednesday night in Buffalo. Before we get into the game proper, we are going to touch on the injury news that we have been hearing. The expectation, we'll go through just everyone who has had notifications over the last couple of days. The first is the bad news. So Michael Kesselring is going to miss an extended period of time. He is going to be out for weeks at a time, is the news that Lindy Ruff has broke. Unclear if it's going to be a surgery or unclear if he's just going to be in a boot for a while, but Kesselring's going to be out for an extended period of time. Hopefully he can get treatment and come back fully healthy. We knew that a couple days ago Zucker and Norris were participating as non-contact participants in the morning skate. For Zucker, he's trying to just get his body back right after the illness, but he's been back skating. And Norris, we don't really have a timeline for his return, but he is skating in a non-contact capacity. As far as the other injured forward who could be coming back soon, Zach Benson is expected to participate in Wednesday's morning skate. It'll be his first time to skate in a team on ice session since he went on injured reserve on October 31st. His recovery has taken longer than I think a lot of folks expected. At first, it was kind of a day-to-day situation. Then we heard he might play in the road game out there against Utah, and it's been another week since then. So it's kind of dragged on a little bit, which is a point of concern, but hopefully that means they're just waiting for him to get fully healthy before he enters the lineup. So I don't think we should expect anybody back against Calgary. Probably the earliest opportunity we're going to get guys back and playing is going to be this weekend. You look at maybe the Friday night game against Chicago. You look at maybe the Sunday night game, or maybe the Sunday afternoon game against Carolina. Those might be when we can get some bodies back, but until then, we'll have to make do with what we have, and what we have is not altogether bad. They seem to have found some line combinations that are really working well right now, and so hopefully they keep them together. They kept them all together in Tuesday's practice. It was the same lines from their previous win over Edmonton. I don't believe they're going to make any sizable changes to the lineup following such a successful game, but it remains to be seen what kind of choices they will make. But I can't imagine they're going to make any exotic changes after such a positive game, such a positive outcome. They'll probably leave things as they are. The state of affairs as we head into this matchup with Calgary in the division, well, Tuesday night, was not very kind to the Sabres in the division. The Maple Leafs won in overtime against the Blues. The Red Wings beat the Kraken 4-2, and the Lightning beat the Devils 5-1. So everyone in the division who was active picked up 2 points. So that puts the Sabres a bit further, in a bit worse position in the standings. They remain in 8th place, 18 points in 19 games. Toronto is up to 20 points in 20 games. They've gotten back to 500, which now leaves the Sabres as the only team in the Eastern Conference under 500, but they'll have a chance to rectify that against Calgary coming up tonight. So the Florida Panthers are in 6th place, 21 points through 19 games. Ottawa is in 5th place, 22 points through 19 games. Tampa Bay also with 22 points through 19 games. They are in 4th place. The Canadiens are in 3rd place, the last playoff spot, 23 points through 19 games. Boston has 24 points through 21 games, a .571 point percentage, which actually would see them in 5th place if we went strictly by points percentage, but they currently sit in 2nd. And then the Detroit Red Wings, with their win, moved into 1st place. They have 25 points through 20 games and are on a 2-game winning streak. They did not really get, they were able to recover from that tough loss against Buffalo and now are kind of running yet again. So obviously this is a big game for Buffalo. A win here puts you back above 500, and you would no longer be the worst. Would put you back above 500, and that would mean everybody in the conference would be at or above 500 at the conclusion of play. If the Sabres would be able to win that game and go to 8-4, it would also potentially move them back into a tie with Toronto, and it would potentially make them sit only 3 points out of the playoff spot if they can get some help across other games. So again, if you're Buffalo, you're not out of it, but you lose this game, you will definitely have lost ground on everybody else. So it's very important to win this game to continue to keep pace with all those other teams. Again, right now the Sabres' objective is just to get back into the blender going into that road trip so that they'll be in a competitive position, and losses on that road trip, if they aren't able to win every game on that road trip, it's not going to be the end of the world as long as they can scratch out a few points here and there and stay in contention. But the Sabres need to make hay now while they're at home against a couple of potentially, you might think, weaker teams with Calgary. And then I wouldn't really call Chicago a weaker team given that they are 10-5-4, 24 points through 19 games. But they're also a team that maybe is not as good as they have looked thus far, maybe just feasting off a kind of weaker strength of schedule in a more top-heavy Western Conference. But that remains to be seen. No judgments there yet. As for our opponent, the Calgary Flames, they are in a rough spot right now. The Flames are 5-13-3. They have 13 points through 21 games. It is far and away the worst team in the league. They are just not in a good spot right now. They have a -22 goal differential. Actually, the Blues have a slightly worse goal differential at -23, but nobody has failed to score as much as Calgary has. Calgary only has 45 goals on the year, and they've conceded 67. And a really interesting stat when you look at the Flames is they have only scored 1 goal off a rebound, yet they do have one of the highest expected goals rates in the league, and they certainly have the highest underperformance of any team in the league. Their real goals versus their expected goals is extremely, extremely not good. The Flames are also one of the top hitting teams in the league. They, I believe, are ranked number 6 in the league in total hits. So a very physical team that has a lot of expected goals but has not been able to find ways to get the puck to the back of the net. They just don't have a ton of scoring touch on their roster. Their top goal scorer right now is Blake Coleman, who has 7 goals and 1 assist for 8 points. Their top point getter is Nazem Kadri, who has 12 points through 21 games, 4 goals, 8 assists. Number 2 point getter is Matt Coronado, who has 6 goals, 4 assists for 10 points. So we're looking at a team whose top point getter only has 12 points on the year. And when you compare that even to a team like Buffalo, whose top point getter is Tage Thompson, who has 17 points on the year, 9 goals, 8 assists, and Alex Tuch, who has 7 goals, 9 assists for 16 points, and even Rasmus Dahlin, who missed 3 games, has 1 goal and 12 assists for 13 points. Those 3 players have more points than the Flames' top player. Kadri is currently would be tied for points with Josh Doan, who has 12 points, 5 goals, and 7 assists. So the Sabres, even, when you match these two teams up, just have more in the way of goal scorers. Now, the Flames do have pretty balanced scoring. Pretty much everyone in their lineup has found a goal at some point this year. But there's not a lot of go-to scorers on that roster right now. In goal, 2 netminders for the Flames, Dustin Wolf and Devin Cooley. Wolf played last night in Chicago, so he is unlikely to get the nod against Buffalo. So it'll probably be Devin Cooley in net for the Flames. Cooley has played in 5 games this year, started 3. He's 0-2 with an overtime loss. Goals against of 1.75, save percentage of .935. He's only allowed 7 goals over the 108 shots that he's faced, so he's played very, very well. Devin Cooley, you may remember from his time as a Rochester American in 2023-2024. He played in 14 games for the Amerks, had a goals against of 3.77 and a save percentage of .891. His best season came in 2022-2023 with the Milwaukee Admirals. He played in 26 games, 2.93 goals against and a .909 save percentage. And he played for the Calgary Wranglers last year, 46 games played, goals against of 2.94, save percentage of .905. In his 6 NHL starts in 2023-2024 with the San Jose Sharks, he had a goals against of 4.98 and a save percentage of .870. So even though he's doing very, very well this year with the Flames, you got to feel the regression to the mean is going to come at some point. So if I'm the Sabres, I want to challenge him. He might be hot right now, but that's why you get in his cage, you try to make him uncomfortable, and you just try to challenge him as much as possible and make him come up with big saves. So it's going to be imperative, I think, kind of like we said going into the St. Louis game, if you're Buffalo, you got to find ways to put a lot of rubber on net. And you should be able to do that because Calgary does not do a tremendous job of stopping people from putting pucks on the net. They average 28.4 shots against per game, which is 20th in the league. The Sabres, for their part, have done an okay job of getting pucks to the net, 27.8 shots, which is middle of the pack in the league. So I think for the Sabres, you got to find ways to get pucks on net. It's not really clear who's going to be playing for the Sabres. I've heard some people thinking that Lyon might get the start. Some people even think UPL might get the start. So we'll just have to see kind of how it looks at the morning skate as far as which Sabre is going to get the nod in goal. I personally hope it's Alex Lyon. I do not want to see UPL. I do not want to see us play our worst goalie simply because this is a game we should win. I think we need to really make an effort to take this game. I think it's an absolutely critical game, and I don't think we really want to leave anything to chance going into this particular matchup. The Flames have been quite bad on the road this year. They're 2-9-1 on the road. The Sabres have been pretty good at home, 6-3-2 at home. The Sabres are coming in on a 2-game winning streak. The Flames are coming in on a 2-game losing streak. Calgary's number one issue this year has been goal scoring. They only average 2.1 goals per game, which is 32nd in the league. The Sabres are not exactly world beaters, but they average 2.89 goals per game, which is only 23rd in the league. That gap between 32nd to 23rd is, looking at that, is about 0.8 goals. That's pretty significant. One of the reasons the Flames have struggled so much is their power play has been very, very inefficient. Only 12.7% on the power play, which is 32nd and last in the league, whereas the Sabres operate at 17.2% clip, 23rd in the league. Although I will say the power play has looked much better these last few games, and they even got a good power play goal against Edmonton. So that number really depends on how hot or how cold the unit is. I think the unit's going to be pretty hot coming into this one, so hopefully they have a good performance. In the face-off circle, we know the Sabres are worst in the league, 42.3%. The Flames are at 48.8%, tied for 19th. As far as defense, goals allowed, the Flames allow an average of 3.1 goals against. The Sabres allow an average of 3.42 goals against. So the Flames defense is a bit better than the Sabres defense. But the one area where the Sabres have a big advantage is on the penalty kill. Of course, they are first in the league, 89.7% kill. The Flames are at 18th in the league with a 78.6% kill. The Flames are also a pretty undisciplined team. They average 13 penalty minutes per game, which is 31st in the league. The Sabres averaging 10.9 penalty minutes per game, which is 25th in the league. So I think this is going to be a case where neither team has that good of a power play. Neither team is really that strong offensively or defensively. In a lot of areas, the Sabres are dead last in the league, or the Flames are dead last in the league. So there's a lot not to love about this game. But for the Sabres, I think it comes down to this. Don't expect this to be anything other than a dogfight. If you expect going in there thinking, oh, well, we've played so well, we just handled Edmonton, we're going to skate all over the place, and we're going to run these guys out the barn, you can't think like that. You have to go in and keep your kind of underdog mentality. Yes, the Flames might be weaker than you, but this whole league is against you. Nobody believes that you can do it. Use that to give yourself motivation. Use that to get angry and go out there and play a really good, hard skating game. This is another situation where if you can come out strong and fast and physical and you show them they're not going to be able to intimidate you, you get the first goal and you're skating hard. Again, this is the second game of a back-to-back for Calgary, and they were in a really competitive game for 2 periods with the Blackhawks yesterday. So you come out, you jump on them early after they had a really bad third period, they might go in the tank a little bit. But if the Flames come out and establish themselves early, if you're Buffalo, you don't panic. You just keep skating, you just keep fighting, you just keep battling. But the key for the Sabres is they have to skate as hard as they skated against Edmonton. Just because this team is 5-13-3 doesn't mean you can take a night off. You have to be just as intense because these points against Calgary, they count the same as the points against Edmonton. If you lose these points, you may as well not have even beat Edmonton. You throw that great performance in the trash. So it is absolutely critical that the Sabres do not take anything for granted. Don't start doing this high-flying, we're so good, let's make the long pass offense. No, continue to do what's worked. Bring the puck through the neutral zone with support, carefully find the out man, work the puck up in a protected fashion. Don't give anything easy. We've said this so many times playing weaker competition. Don't give up the boneheaded goals. But the Sabres always tend to do that. And that's one reason I don't want UPL in the net, because UPL has a tendency not to stop the ones that he needs to stop. And so it could set up a perfect storm yet again, where we give up easy early goals and let the Flames grow into the game. We need to step on their throat and show them it is not going, that if they want to win this game, they're going to have to beat us. They're going to have to wrest initiative away from us. So that is kind of how I rate this one. I think it's another case where the Sabres, this is where you need to show full consistency, right? It's not enough to play your best game against a good team. You have to play the same way against a not so good team. That is how we develop full consistency, and that is what we need to do as an organization. So if the Sabres can come out, play very well, win this game, I think we can all be very happy, because it'll give us 2 chances to get to the 6 points we need to get on this homestand, and we also won't have lost any ground in the division if we're able to do that. But if we lose this game, all of the confidence from the last 2 games that has come up, I think you'll see that fade into the ether, and that will be kind of it. Maybe for this homestand, and as a result, maybe for this season. I mean, I don't want to over-dramatize this game, but you lose this game at this juncture when you're starting to build momentum, yeah, it could cripple the Sabres' It could cripple the Sabres' attempts to kind of get back into the Atlantic Division blender if they drop this game. So a critically important matchup for Buffalo, and hopefully the Sabres will be able to take care of business. What do you think about this game? Do you think the Sabres should be able to stroll to an easy victory? Do you think the Flames have a chance? How do you think the Flames are going to be able to find a way to win this one? What do the Sabres need to do to come out victorious in this one? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and we will talk about it. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you want more Sabres hockey content, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you here. There's going to be a lot more hockey talk coming. There's going to be live streams coming We're kind of in a dead period right now for the live streams due to my work, but there will be live reaction streams coming back at the end of this month. So if you're into that, we love to have you as a part of this channel. So yeah, thank you all for watching. As always, go Sabres. Bye-bye.